Do you ever have like a general fear about the future or a sense of looming anxiety? If this is you, you're not alone. I'm Emma Coble. I'm a licensed professional counselor who works with clients in Colorado and Florida. So, all humans have anxiety. Anxiety is actually a part of our biological makeup that has been really helpful to us at different points in our evolution. The ability for us to feel fear and to signal to our bodies that there's a danger and we need to fight, flight, fly, or freeze, like play dead, is a tool that has helped us get out of countless dangerous situations throughout our Homo sapien history. And the thing about it is that most of the situations we're in now are not life threatening or dangerous in the same way. So, this defense mechanism we have and this tool of anxiety, which says to us, hey, it says to our nervous system, like, there's a danger, flood us with adrenaline, or shut us down so that we can evade in some way this danger. This is often not very helpful in our lives now because in our current lives, we don't face a lot of life threatening dangers on a day to day basis. So it used to be the case when we were, living in tribes and out in nature that we probably encountered other tribes, and there were war-like situations that we were encountering more often, or maybe predators, animals. That it's very helpful to be able to be flooded with adrenaline and flee or fight. But now, in our current relationships, what happens is that instead of being helpful, we often will get flooded with adrenaline and we'll get really critical or mean with our partners, or we will shut down, or we will withdraw and not really answer or communicate with them. And when this happens, we don't have access to like our higher reasoning, higher thinking. Another thing that often happens is we will get anxiety or we'll feel this sense of dis-ease, and we'll start to spiral, and we'll do things like we'll avoid situations where we feel like there's a danger. And so, what happens really, the problem with anxiety becomes when we start to let it take over our lives and not engage with or live our lives because of fear. And also when we start to fear itself and we try and push it away and just like almost deny it or resist it. So that might sound kind of contradictory. So I'm going to explain that a little bit more. So when we are, first of all, like anxiety becomes a very vicious loop and a very vicious cycle. So oftentimes something will seem scary to us, like, um, maybe snakes will feel really scary. So we'll avoid all places that have snakes or could have snakes, and we'll stay safe in our homes. And then what happens is rather than like helping us really feel safe from snakes, we end up just enforcing that we're only safe in our home, and we can't really go anywhere. We'll become more and more sure and afraid of snakes and more convinced that to stay safe, we have to stay away from snakes. And maybe we'll continue to like think of other scenarios that maybe aren't super safe and how we can avoid those scenarios. So this limits us and it doesn't help the fear. In fact, it makes the fear have more power over us. Um, so another way this loop plays out is oftentimes we we hate feeling anxiety and fear, so we'll do anything to avoid anxiety and fear. So we'll do things like numb out by, drinking, shopping, eating. Um, we'll do anything to not feel these feelings. If we have insomnia, maybe we'll take a medication to make us go to sleep. But again, this strengthens the idea that the thing we are scared of is really powerful and can hurt us, and that we can't handle feeling it. When the truth is that we can, like, fear itself will not hurt us. Panic attacks don't kill us. Panic attacks can't hurt us. Um, so, what we want to be doing is increasing our tolerance and desensitizing ourselves to doing things that are scary and feeling fear. So, this is something EMDR therapy helps with, is desensitizing us. So, anxiety therapy, EMDR therapy can be really helpful with this. But one thing I would encourage you to do if you have anxiety is get curious about this part that's afraid of. What's it really deep down afraid of? If there's a specific thing that is coming up for you, like, are you afraid of your finances? Maybe this part is afraid that you're not going to be safe. And underneath that, there's like this fear that you're going to end up alone. Um, so I would just get curious about this part. Is it believing that you can't handle something that maybe as a kid you actually couldn't handle? Um, so practice being with it and being compassionate with this part of you, and at the same time, don't let this part always like drive the ship. Yes, there might be times when it's the kindest thing to do for yourself to like not go to an event that feels really scary or big or you're exhausted. And that's great. However, if it becomes that you're avoiding all situations where you could be social, um, this is probably reinforcing the fear and the idea that you can't live your life, that other people or social situations are dangerous. And in addition to doing that, it's making you fear itself more because you start to think like, fear is keeping me, anxiety is keeping me from all of these things. So the way we respond to our anxiety and fear is really what determines how much power it has over us. So if you are struggling with anxiety in Colorado or Florida, reach out. I'd love to help. Have a good one.